Well, Season 9 of the Ritornu Gloria is underway. The transfer window was a lot more active than I thought it would be. We were net sellers, which is not something I expected to happen. And the season's off to a really good start. Today, it's going to be a transfer roundup, and then we play one live comp against Olympic Lyon. And hopefully, we can keep our good form going. My name's FM19, and this is the Ritornu Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 69. Well, we're moving the window to the other side of the screen today because, as you can see, we had a lot of outs. And as you can see, we had a few guys leave who I was hoping to hold on to for a little bit longer. First out, Saad Nasri, who I brought in last year and was hoping to develop, but then Auxerre came in and made an offer for him out of the blue. And he really wanted to go, and they gave me decent money for him, so I said, why not? Afonso Sousa had a couple teams come after him in the offseason, and the ones he said he wasn't interested in, I rejected. And then Chelsea came in and made an offer for them. It was something like $16 million straight up, and he said he really wanted to go. I denied it. He got mad, wanted to talk, said, why can't I go to Chelsea? I said, okay, let me go back and make an offer. They came back, and they tried lowballing me with like 14 million euros or something like that. I came back with 15.25 and then 18.7, going to 18.75. There's a lot of achievables there. I think we'll see most of that unless they sell him on. Radoui Bentayeb, who's a young keeper of mine, is on loan at Clermont. Matthias Blondel, who's an attacking midfielder, is on loan at Vitre, who's one of our affiliates. Quincy Menig, I finally moved on to Sparta for 400,000 euros, going to 500,000 euros based on appearances. Mladen Jurtric, who wasn't happy, he wasn't getting a lot of playing time, asked to be moved, and he got picked up by Linz for 325,000 euros. Simone Santoro was kind of in the same boat, but at the same time, I've got some younger, better midfielders in that I wanted to get playing time. He moves on to Auxerre for 725,000 euros. Antoine Bernade, the yellow card machine, that is Antoine Bernade, went to Lens for 5.25 million euros. Again, he falls into the same boat as Santoro. I have younger midfielders with a lot more potential, and frankly, I want to see if we can finish out of the top 5 this year in yellow cards. I'm hoping with Bernade moving on, that'll happen. Ayrton is a youngster who is on loan at Paris FC. Ryan Merlin is on loan at Concarneau. Marcel Mateus, who is a young midfielder who really doesn't have a lot of potential, he's not going to see any first-team playing time here, is on loan at Moriense. Grant Marsman, I don't know, he pitched a fit over something this summer, playing time, or his status got downgraded. He went from rotation player to backup, and he absolutely pitched a fit. He was getting up there in age. He hadn't gotten any better. His physicals had actually gone down. I put him out there. Newcastle snapped him up for 425,000 euros. For a guy, I want to say, if I remember correctly, I brought him in on a free. No, I brought him in for 200,000 euros. I got 425,000 euros back, so we made a little money there. Gaetan Kerr is a youngster. He is on loan at AS Friuli Agliani. Tom Blanchard is at Nancy on loan. Bastien Pichon, my young striker who had an absolutely brilliant season last year on the under-19 squads, where he had 38 goals in 37 games and 17 assists, 10 players of the match, is the starting striker at 16 years old for Valenciennes. At least he's supposed to be the starting striker. He's coming off the bench at the moment. I suspect he will be coming off the bench for a while. Clausio, who is a midfielder who's kind of on the cusp, but wasn't going to get a lot of playing time here. I loaned to Vittorio Setúbal, so he'd get full team playing time there. Pierre-Francois Arrighi is a young winger. He is on loan at Furiani Agliari. This one hurt. Lucien Marin. There were a couple teams that came in for him, and they lowballed me on it. 3.5 million, 4 million euros. One of them was 7 million euros. And then the English teams got involved. And Watford and Everton both made bids in like the 6.5 million range. And he said, I really want to go to Everton. And I went back to Everton, got them up to 8 million. The 9 million is based on goals and appearances. We should see most of that. Kik Pieri, for whatever reason, wanted to leave. I'm not quite sure why. He would have been a mainstay of the club this year. He would have gotten starts at both defensive left back and defensive center back. Instead, PSV came in, made an offer for him, 5 million euros up front, going to 6 million based on appearances. And I said, sure, because as you'll see, I've actually got a couple capable replacements for him. Shiny Kasango is on loan at Gaziak Ajaccio, and then Kane Wilson decided he didn't want to stay, and I don't know why. And OGC Nice made an offer for him, and I turned him down, and he pitched a fit, and the locker room kind of split down the middle, and half took his side and half didn't. And so I went back to OGC Nice, and I said, give me this much going to this much. And they said, sure. And he left literally a day later. And that's it. We were net sellers, 41.5 million euros out. We'll kind of breeze through the ends. A lot of these guys, the free transfers, they are backups for the reserves in the under 16s, the under 19s. As you can see, half of my squad on the under 19s are grayed out players who are playing because I just, I tend to let go of the youth players who just don't have a future here. I don't hold, I don't keep. I let them go in the offseason. And as a result, we tend to lose a lot of players. And I've also, if I go to the reserve squad here, I've got a lot of players who could be on the under 19 team. And as a matter of fact, if I go to these guys and I click on them and I say, squad, under 19 squad, okay, they'll move back there. But then I'll get a thing saying, hey, move them back to the reserves because they could be useful there. It's been a back and forth thing. Regis Fillet is picking up where Bastia and Pichon left off. 5 games, 7 goals, 1 assist, 3 players of the match. Fingers crossed, I can hold on to him and Pichon for another couple of years. I did look, the transfer window is not closed. We still have about a week left before it closes. You'll see why I came back today. As you can see, we've got 28.23 million in the transfer budget remaining and 268,000 euros per week left on the payroll, so there's a lot of wiggle room there. I have not found a lot of players that I'm willing to go after and pay money for. I'm willing to spend, as you'll see, going back here, but this year I think I'd much rather go for loans. Like in an example, Igor Zorzetto is going to come in as a loan player, I hope, as a defensive center back. He's got a ton of potential. He'll be part of the rotation. And with the fixture congestion we're going to have, especially considering the amount of fixtures we played last year, I really want to avoid that. And I want to get a good rotation of players going. And with Pierre leaving, I needed a quality filler, and he fits the bill. But anyhow, getting back to the transfers. Carlos Vincinius, 1.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability keeper, a youth player without a team that my scout in Brazil found, and I snapped him up. I like Ramirez. Ramirez should be here for the long haul, but I need a backup for him. I have Jarek in now, who's a capable backup, but I don't think he'd be a full-time starter. And there were a couple teams that started sniffing around Ramirez at the end of the year last year, and I really don't want to be in a situation where I have to move him on, and as a result, I'm left with no one, really. I've got a couple of young keepers that I could play for maybe a game or 3, but none that I would consider full-time starters. Vincinius, he's got potential. He's one of the best young keepers I've seen in terms of potential ability, and he was the right price. He was free. He actually came in middle of last season and got a lot of starts or got a lot of playing time last year on a trial basis. I think if I go back, So 7 appearances, 2 off the bench, 19 goals allowed, 1 shutout. Then again, he's young. Ayrton is in much the same boat. A 2-star current potential, 5-star potential defensive midfielder, ball-winning midfielder, deep-lying playmaker. Also on a free from Brazil, 18 years old. He should spend a year or 2 on the under 19s and possibly the reserves and maybe go out on loan. He's double-footed, strong and very strong. I really like this kid. I think he's got a lot of potential. He will be the eventual replacement for Soldevilla and or Gadzhikadiev. His physicals are good. They're going up. His mentals are nice. I love the 16 determination. The 12 work rate's going up as well. His technicals are also improving by leaps and bounds, except his long shots, what I'm not really worried about. His tackling's a little bit on the weak side, but he is really a playmaker in the defensive midfielder position. He's not, he'll be a ball distributor. He will be the new Soldevilla. Guzman Fernandez, I found at Sporting Gijon. He is a 3.5-star current, 5-star potential, 19-year-old forward. My plan was to split him and Marin this season. Instead, with Marin moving on, he is my full-time starter. He has yet to score a goal this season, but he's had some solid performances. And he will grow into the role. He comes in as a complete forward, also plays a decent advanced forward and poacher. His physicals are very nice. His mentals are very nice. The technicals, they're great where they count. 15 dribbling, 12 finishing, 14 first touch, 14 heading, 13 technique, and those will only get better as he gets older. And for £4.5 million going to £4.9 million based on international appearances, I think that's a steal. David Magahalis, I probably overpaid for a little bit. I'll be honest, I panicked a little bit at the end of last year when I realized I wasn't going to be able to keep Salibi. He actually moved to Dortmund on a free, of all things. I made an offer for him, and he wanted like 90,000 euros a week. And I wasn't going to pay that for him. As much as I liked him last year and what he did for us, I wasn't going to do it. End of last season, I was in a little bit of a panic. Omar Salibi was leaving. He actually ended up going on a free to Dortmund because they met his wage demands. I tried signing him. He wanted like 90,000 euros a week, and I wasn't going to pay that for him. As much as I like the kid, and as much as I think he's going to be a good defensive left back, I don't want to spend that right now. I had forgotten I also had Raphael Amita coming in this year because I signed him last year, but I loaned him back to Guimarães. So at the end of last season, I was looking at players whose contracts were going to be ending this year. And David Magalhaes, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, was on a transfer request. Played for Maritomo in the Portuguese First Division. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, defensive left back. He and Almeida are very, very similar. But one of the things, I'm going to pull up Almeida here, Almeida being in the blue. Almeida's a little bit better physically. He's a little bit faster. He's a little bit better technically and attacking-wise, and a little bit better mentally. Magahalis is better defending. He's better aerially. But other than that, they're both very good players. I suspect if I was to play either one of these guys long-term at the defensive left-back position, they would both grow into probably 4.5, possibly 5-star players. And the difference between the two, as you can see right here, Magahalis is making 22.5 thousand euros a week. Raphael Amita, I'm only paying 6. Now, the solution to this was, and I clicked the wrong thing, with Pieri leaving, I needed some help at defensive center back. So I am retraining Magahalis to be a defensive center back, a ball-playing defensive center back. And I think that will definitely work out for us. Maybe not as well as Armando becoming a defensive midfielder on the right has worked out for us, because he has no talent for the position right now. He can kind of sort of play defensive right back, and he can play wing back, no problem. But I'm going to start getting him playing time every week as a defensive center back, coming off the bench. And when he's not coming off the bench to be a defensive center back, he'll be spelling Almeida at the defensive left back position. Ronaldo Giraldes, I think this is the steal of the transfer window. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, comes in on a rotation contract. A really good box-to-box midfielder, can also play advanced midfielder. I'm not using a formation this year that uses an advanced midfielder. I have that 4-2-4 narrow diamond, but I don't think I'll be using that because I don't have 2 strikers up top that I like. I can play Gonzalez and Foster, but my backup for them is Mahalangu, and I'm not really a fan of that at the moment. Or Frank, who I'm also not really a fan of at the moment because Frank's better on the attacking midfielder on the left. That's probably a formation will break out every once in a while, so he will see some use there. But instead, he's stepped right into Bernard's starting role. He's not the Mazzala that Bernard was. He's the box-to-box midfielder. So actually, he steps into Marjman's role as that holding midfielder who goes out and just does his best to destroy people. His physicals are really solid. They'll get better. His mentals are solid across the board. His technicals are great where they count. The 12 technique I like. The 14 passing is great. 10 dribbling, 10 first touch, they're adequate, but they will definitely get better. He's 19 years old. I think with all the players I moved on this offseason, our average age went down by like 2.5 years or something like that. So having said that, this is going to be one of those seasons where I think we're going to struggle to finish top 6 because of the number of players we have and because of the fixtures we're going to be playing. I think that's... I told the board we'd qualify for European football, which means 6th place or better. And that's my goal, 6th place or better. If we don't get Champions League football this year, I'm not going to be upset by that because, as you can see, we had a lot of turnover and we had a lot of older players who were decent leave. And I replaced them with the younger players who are decent, who in the long run should be better than the older players I let go. It may take a year for that to happen. Abderrahmane Pereira comes in on a free transfer, attacking midfielder who I'm actually retraining as a advanced midfielder on the left. Actually, I thought I had fixed that. Advanced midfielder on the left, playing inside forward because he is right-footed. 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, 19 years old. He's here for reserve and under 19 games. I think he could become someone who comes off the bench in the future. If not, I'm almost positive I can move him on for a decent amount of money. Steve Malois, wingback. He's here purely as a backup for the under 19s. He's depth. Cyprian Redinusiuk. If Geraldez is not the steal of this transfer window for us, Cyprian is. 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability, central midfielder. He is Antoine Bernet's replacement. Good physicals. The natural fitness of a 9 is a little bit on the low side, but they're good. The mentals are nice where they count. The flair and leadership I'm not too worried about, but his 16 decision-making is great. The 10 determination, 10 composure, those are average for this level, but I can get those up, I think. The 15 first touch is nice. The 12 passing is nice. The marking's going up. The tackling of 8, it's a little bit on the low side, but it's doable. The technique of 11, that will only get better. He's come in. He's getting starts off the bench. He will be part of the midfield rotation. I'm going to have a big midfield rotation going this year. I suspect there will be not a lot of games where the same player gets back-to-back starts. They will be playing a lot of games, but they won't get back-to-back starts. Mori Bamba comes in as depth. He is a 3.5-star current, 4-star potential 24-year-old from Cote d'Ivoire. He is nose backup at the attacking midfielder right position, and Frank's backup on the attacking midfielder left position. Really good physicals. I love his agility. I love his pace. His natural fitness is great. He can run all day. The mentals, they're solid where they count. The positioning of 6 is a little bit on the low side, but I think I can improve that with some training. The technicals, they're solid across the board. For coming in on a free, he's valued at $13.5 million. I know I can move him on for at least that much money. Owen Charpentier is a name the longtime followers of the save may know. He was actually a youth player that we accidentally let go. I should have re-signed him, and I brought him back because, frankly, he's depth for the under-19 squad and the reserves. Remarque Kone is a free transfer from France. He's got some potential. He's a defensive center back, can also play solid defensive right back, 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, solid physicals across the board, good mentals where they count, good technicals where they count, 13 marking, 15 tackling, 10 headings, a little bit on the low side, but the jumping reach of 14 kind of helps make up for that. He goes in as part of the defensive center back rotation. Victor Manuel Martinez from Dom, who was actually on an expired contract, 2-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, 18 years old, striker. This kid is a backup. He's here for depth on the under-19 and reserve squads. With my letting Pichot go, Mahalangu is my primary reserve striker, but I needed depth, and he was the best young free kid out there. And as you can see, 2 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. Physicals are nice. The jumping reach of 7's a little bit on the low side. The natural fitness of 9's a little bit on the low side, but his mentals are nice. The limited determination's nice. The 12 decision-making's nice. Everything else is going up, including the leadership. The 14 work rate and 11 positioning is nice, 11 teamwork rather is nice, as is the 12 vision. The technicals, they're a little bit on the low side, but as you can see, they are improving. I think as if he is my primary, well, he and I'm totally blanking on his name now. Begins with a V. Valois. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Valet are my primary strikers on the under-19s this year. Andreas Wortley actually came in about midway through last season on a trial, and then I signed him, but because it was post-registration, he couldn't get playing time on the first squad, so he played a lot of reserve game last season. He's here primarily as depth. 1-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability, 18 years old. Again, he's a reserve and under-19 team player. Fran Filipovic, same mold. 1.5-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, advanced midfield on the right, under-19 a reserve player. Tobias Wickland, same thing. 1-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, center mid. He's a ball-winning midfielder, but I don't know. He shares depth more than anything else. He should get a decent amount of playing time. He's my primary defensive midfielder on the under 19s, so he should get some quality playing time. If we're gonna have to look at him now and look at him at the end of the year and see how much he's improved, and whether or not that means he's gonna get any sort of first team playing time here. Who was that? That was Tobias Wickland. That was Tobias Wickland, wasn't it? Ollie Bernsen. 3.5 green stars, 2.5-star potential ability, defensive center back here for under 19 depth. Wortley, Filipovic, Wickland, and Bernsen were all youth players my scout in Scandinavia found. I said, go out, find me some youth prospects that are free, and these were the best of about 12 guys he found. Jean-Lucas Camp is a lone player. One of the things I was looking at was, well, I have a lot of midfielders. They are young and they will get better. I wanted depth. And we just really didn't have that with Bernade, Sousa, Santoro, Marjman, and I'm totally blanking on the guy's name, leaving right now. We pretty much decimated our midfield. There wasn't anybody out there I was willing to spend money for, but Bayern has Jean-Lucas Camp on loan, and I made an offer for him, and they accepted it. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 18 years old, deep line playmaker, central midfielder, really good Mazzala. He is definitely part of the rotation. And I'm hoping, if things work out well, I may be able to buy him. If not, I'll try and loan him out again next year. So I may have, well, I'm not going to say I totally screwed ourselves with all the midfielders we lost. But yeah, I got to count this out my hands here. Sousa, Santoro, Bernade, Merlin, Mateus, Marjman, Clausio. Yeah, that's 7 midfielders we let go. Either we sold or on loan. Now, granted, half those guys, 3 of those guys, we're never going to see first team playing time. But as I think you guys, I think you will agree, the players I brought in will at least be as good as, if not better than, the players we let go. And we've got a good midfield rotation going. Season starting early this year because it is 2026. It is World Cup year. So that kind of took me by surprise. We did a tour of England. We played Hull and York and had some good results against them. Our preseason friendlies weren't that bad. The AS Beauvais match was a completely rotated side. It was the youngsters and some of the reservists, and they absolutely beat us 2-1. Ponzo was the only full-time starter who got the start. Of course, he got the goal. Our last friendly was against Napoli. They thumped us 3-0. I was really kind of worried about that. We got our season off to a slow start with a 1-1 draw at Rennes. Frank had a nice goal in the 20th minute against Caen. Renato Giraldes had 2 bangers of a goal. They were almost exactly identical from the top right corner of the box. He got the pass from Sotavia, turned around and hit it upper right corner of the net both times. The first time I saw it was a great goal. The second time I saw it, I thought I was watching a replay. Frank got a 3rd goal in the 61st minute to give us a comfortable 3-1 win. We were then up against OGC Nice, who were our nemesis last season. They beat us in almost every game we played them in. And Frank, brace of goals. 13th and 55th minute to give us a 2-0 win. This was a solid game for us. 12 shots, 7 on target for us versus 10 and 5 for them. As you can see, a lot of our shots were from distance. That's something I'm working on. I've got hit early crosses turned on, and what's happening is a lot of the guys are crossing from the midfield to the guys on the outside of the box, and the guys on the outside of the box are taking the shot. Giraldes seems to be a long shot kind of guy. As long as it's somewhere near the goal, I'm okay with that. There's nothing too wild about it. And plus, Joel, I don't know how to pronounce that in French. Joel had some very nice saves this match. So today, though, we are going to play Olympic Lyon because they are currently in 3rd place, 2 points ahead of us. PSG has yet to lose a game. Monaco has yet to lose a game. Lyon has yet to lose a game. PSG's already got a plus 13 goal differential. They beat their first opponent 5-0. It was wild. We're only 3 games into the season, so this isn't really going to matter right now. Frank has 4 goals. He leads us with a 7.97 rating. Armand and Andres Soldevilla both have 2 assists. Frank and Renato, 2 players of the match, or 1 player of the match each. Our 6 goals are 5th highest. Our 2 goals allowed are 5th best. We're 6 yellow cards. So we've had 2 yellow cards a match, which frankly is a lot better than we have been in the past. And our attendance we're peaked. We've sold out all our tickets this year. So one of the big reasons I wanted to record this today is because we got the Champions League draw coming up. Today we received our European Champion Cup group stage money, 15.25 million euros. Very nice. And we've been seeded 4th for the draw, so let's get to that. And you know what? I'm going to take care of this, get the first 3 teams in each group out of the way. We'll do a review of each group, and then we'll find out where we are. Now, Napoli won Serie A last year. That's one of the reasons I wanted to play them in the offseason, because we made a ton of money with it, too. So, Group A is Bayern, Marseille, and Valencia, so we can't be part of that. Group B is Napoli, Tottenham, and Olympiacos. Group C, Porto, Madrid, and Bayer. Group D, Barcelona, Lyon, and Sporting. We can't be part of that. Group E, Nice, Man United, Shakhtar. Can't be part of that. Group F, PSG, Juventus, and Ajax. Group G, Man City, Madrid, or Atletico Madrid, rather, and Roma. Group H, Liverpool, Inter, and Benfica. It's got to be either Group B or Group G or Group H. So let's see what happens here. Salzburg goes to Group A. Genk to Group B. I totally forgot about Group C. Okay, we're playing Porto, Real Madrid, and Bayer. It's Bayer Leverkusen, I believe. Yep, Bayer Leverkusen. Who we got that very good defensive center back on, or the very good midfielder on loan from, which means we're not going to be able to play him there. We could be going back to the Europa League, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I mean, Champions League at this stage is just brilliant. We might be able to steal a goal from Porto and maybe beat Bayer. We'll have to see. But I think Madrid is going to be the top of that group. Let's finish this out here. Zurich goes to Group D. Anderlecht to Group E. CSKA Moscow to Group F. Victoria Pilsen to Group G. And the last team was Galatasaray, goes to Group H. Okay, well, it's going to be a tough ask. See what the schedule is. God, I'm looking at this. This is 30 minutes already. I'm probably going to edit this down to maybe 25 or 23. I know we said we do the Leon live com today, but with the Bayer game coming up in 2 weeks, and the transfer window hasn't closed yet either. That closes out in 4 days. Change of plan, as most of my plans go. They're written in jello on a hot Texas day. We're going to come back for the Bayern game and Metz away. So we're going to call this here. Let me know what you think about the reserve, or let me know what you think about the transfers. Let me know what you think about the loan players I brought in. Let me know if you think I may have gutted the team too much. Are we going to finish top 6 this year? I'd like to think so. I think it'll be a fight, but I think we can finish top 6. I think our Champions League group means we're going back down to the Europa League, which is fine. We got to the semifinals last year. Can we do that again this year? It would depend on the teams we go up against, but yeah, this is a tough group. Madrid, Porto, and Bayer. Where'd Bayer finish last year? They finished second in the Bundesliga. Okay, this could be a lot tougher than I thought. But, you know what? They'll know they've been in a fight. We're not going to roll over like Anderlecht or Cluj. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, concerns, leave a comment down below. I'll answer as fast as I can. Let me know what you think of the transfer window. I'd be interested in your feedback on that. My name is FM19, and this is the Return of Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 69.